Let me ask you something. How would you feel if you were walking in the middle of the mall and then you trip in front of everyone? It's a Sunday and the mall is crowded, full of people. How would you feel about tripping in front of everyone? Let me guess. You're gonna feel very embarrassed. You feel ashamed of yourself. You will feel that everyone is looking at you. You're gonna feel that everyone is judging you, is laughing at you. Am I correct? And what if I change the situation, not about tripping in the middle of the mall, but talking in English with someone, practicing your English with native people, native speakers? How would you feel of making a mistake, saying something wrong in your head? How would you feel? It's pretty much the same, isn't it? The same feeling. There is a famous quote that I love from Seneca. He is one of the most important philosophers of the Stoicism. And he says, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. And this is very true. Most of the times our fears are way bigger in your head, in our minds, in our heads, than in the reality. When you're walking in a mall and then you trip, you might think that everyone is looking at you, everyone is paying attention to every single movement, every single action that you take. But the reality is not like that. You might think that those people are thinking, look at how clumsy this person is. Or people will be laughing at you. But when we go to reality, when we check our surroundings, what people are doing, they don't even care. They are not paying attention to us. They are minding their own business. Everyone has their own concerns. Everyone has their own problems. They are not caring about our problems at all. They do not pay attention to us. Sometimes I think it also has a little bit of narcissism when we think that everyone is paying attention to us, that we are the center of the universe, or that we are the main character of this whole game called life. And it's not really like that. I think it's more likely that we are NPCs than the main character. When you're speaking in English, you might think that people are waiting for you to make a mistake. People are waiting for you to say something wrong, to make fun of you or to correct you. But the reality is, when we are talking to a native speaker, they are only concerned about if they can understand you. If they can understand what you're saying, that's it. They don't really care about your accent. They just want to understand what you're saying. If you know the words, if you know what you want to say, or even if you don't, you have different ways to say the same thing. Think about us in Brazil. Have you ever seen any foreigner in our city, in our country? Have you seen how they try to speak Portuguese? They say a bunch of wrong things. Do you care about it? Do you make fun of this person? If you do, something's wrong with you. The reality is that if we can understand what they're saying, that's it. That's what we want. We just want to understand each other. It doesn't matter if the accent is a little bit weird, if they're saying some things in a weird way or in a wrong way. It doesn't matter. If we understand what they are trying to say, that's the point of the conversation. Of course, I'm not saying this to make you comfortable with your mistakes. You have to try to say the things correctly. You have to try to say the things in a right way. But don't make this such a big deal, because it isn't. If you make a mistake, it's fine. You can correct yourself. Imagine that you are speaking in Portuguese. Even in our own language, our native language, we make mistakes, and it's fine. No one really cares. It's very simple. the more afraid you are of making a mistake, more mistakes you're gonna make. And if you don't practice, what's gonna happen? You won't have the chance to correct your mistake and to learn how to fix this. Especially if you have a teacher. If you have a teacher, the more mistakes you make, the more things will be corrected, the more things you learn. By the way, if you're looking for a teacher, follow at Bora de English BR, and you'll find the link for my WhatsApp in the bio. So please go follow me. Have in mind that the more mistakes you make during your classes, the less mistakes you're gonna make when you're talking to someone, talking to a native speaker, or using English at work. The place for you to make mistakes is the class. But also have in mind that even the people that are already fluent in English, they still make mistakes sometimes. Learning a new language is a lifetime process. You're always learning something different. You're learning different ways to say the same thing. You're learning different slangs. You're learning different idioms. Even in our native language, we learn new things. Because I am 31 now. I confess to you that I don't use many slangs in my day-to-day life, but younger people nowadays use a bunch of slangs. So if you talk to them, you're gonna learn a bunch of different expressions. So even if in our native language we are constantly learning, why do you think that in a second language you won't be learning through your whole life? Of course, you can have the fluency to talk to someone like 1 year, 2 years of studying, like really studying, not just studying once in a while, really studying English. You can have the fluency to talk to someone perfectly, but it doesn't mean that you're not gonna learn something different every single day. Maybe you can. I don't know what you believe, but have in mind that everyone is living this life for the first time, just like you. Everyone can make a mistake. So what I want you to really understand with this video is, if you are trying to learn something different, like English, like a second language, you are already ahead of a bunch of people. So don't feel embarrassed, don't feel ashamed of yourself if you're making some mistakes. It's totally normal. So just keep going in your process, just keep going. So if you like this kind of video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. And of course, follow my Instagram at Bora de English BR. If you want private classes, of course, you don't need private classes. You can learn by yourself. But I can guarantee that if you learn and practice with a teacher, the process will be 10 times faster. I will also appreciate if you can leave a comment down below. Say what you think about this video, if you want to talk about anything, if you want me to talk about anything else, if you have a topic suggestion, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.